Thank you everyone for coming to the GANS Geo Talk today. I'd like to remind everyone that this is a recorded chat, so please keep your video screens off and your microphones muted throughout the talk. If you want to ask a question, you can type it into the chat at any time and I can read it at the end, or we can ask James at the end of his talk today. Okay, so without further ado, I would like to present our speaker for today. James Donaldson is a tech consultant at SITECH Mid-Canada. He helps the organization increase productivity with the latest geospatial technologies, one of which he'll be talking about today. He has a license for an RPAS system, formerly known as drones, RPAS. I'm sure he'll cover that, for advanced operations, which is a much more difficult test than the basic one. I hope he talks about that as well a little bit. So today he'll be speaking about the Wingtra, which is, if nobody has seen it before, it's a fixed wing drone, but it has a vertical takeoff and landing. So without further ado, I'll hand this over to you, James.
Can you hear me, Candace?
Yes.
There we go. Okay, 1 second here. There we go. Do you see my screen?
Yes, great.
Perfect. Well, I appreciate it, Candace, for having us here, and I appreciate GANS giving us the opportunity to talk about the technology. Even 5 years ago, like, it's changed so much, and it's becoming more common on construction sites, mines, any agriculture. As the technology's gotten better, the regulations around drone technology has been loosened. So we're gonna talk today. I'll go through an introduction of who I am and kind of my experience. Talk about SITECH. I'm not sure if everybody knows who SITECH Mid-Canada is and where we fit into the relationship and why we're working with Wingtra. We'll talk about Wingtra, who they are, how did we get to where we are today, and then just go through the solution itself. Talk about the technology, customer benefits, the different payloads and cameras that that can be added to the Wingtra and swapped in and out, and also the software. And then we'll just kind of go into some further information. Here. So, as Candace said, I'm a technology consultant with SITECH Mid-Canada. I've been there about 3 years. It's coming up on 3 years in October, and I've been around drones since about 2012. I worked out in Western Canada for another Trimble geospatial dealer, and I'm very familiar. I've worked with Trimble. I've worked with SenseFly, traditional fixed wings. I've also worked with multi-rotor solutions. So what gets me excited about the Wingtra is this Vtol. It's giving you the best of both worlds with the multi-rotor for taking off like a helicopter, and then transitioning and giving you that large area coverage mapping that you can get with fixed wings. Who is SITECH? Well, we're part of a global distribution network of Trimble solutions. We provide the most reliable and rugged construction tech that's out there on the market. Our typical market is heavy civil engineering, construction, contractors, mining, any large scale hydro, road, rail projects. And really, we've got teams all across Canada in all the major cities. Out in the East Coast, we've got an office in Dartmouth. We provide, local on-site support. We do all of our own installations, personalized training that's tailored to you and your team. And that's also on, any of the products. Doesn't matter if it's GPS or drones. We've got guys and girls that are going to be able to train you on that. We have pre and post sale technical support, and we have support agreements that are put in place for long-term or short-term with organizations. When we look at SITECH's technology mission statement, it's essentially the collection and transmission of data that enables our customers to manage and link all elements in their current and future businesses, opportunities in the most cost-effective and reliable way. And essentially, we look at that as, you're collecting the data with all of these different, GPS, traditional survey, machine control, your drones, all of that data gets analyzed, and then it allows you to act and optimize on it. That's going to help you not only today, but push your organization forward for the future, future success. We've got many different technologies at SITECH, and we understand that grade control systems, site positioning systems like survey, drones, telematics, analytics. We understand that all of that information needs to be collected and analyzed. So we look at it as a connected site solutions. We've gone away from traditional, Excel sheets and the way that we did things even a few years ago. Now we're working off that constructible model, which you'll see in the middle of the screen here. That constructible model, it's always updated. It's used from the conception and design of the project, and that constructible model is used through the entire of a construction project, from scheduling and project management, execution and construction, where you're getting that drone data, you're getting machine control data, you're getting survey data, and then when that project's complete, you've got that constructible model that you can own, operate, and maintain. So that's kind of a bit about SITECH. Now I'll jump into, who is Wingtra? Wingtra was founded in 2016. The headquarters are in Zurich, Switzerland. It can be found in what they call like the drone valley of the world. It's between Zurich and Geneva. There's a lot of high-tech companies that are out here. You'll find a lot of our competitors that they're building solutions there. And all of the products that Wingtra build, it's built with the highest quality, highest precision that you'd expect out of Switzerland. Right now, there's probably more, but about 80 Wingtranauts that work for Wingtra. But it's always growing. The global distribution network, there's 60 partners across the world. Pretty much, all corners of the world we can reach. The Wingtra's flying in 80 countries, and here in Canada, we're the global, or sorry, we're the distributor across Canada. So Vtol, again, what is it? I just want to say Vtol is vertical takeoff and landing. You're getting the benefits of that multi-rotor takeoff and landing, but then you also get the coverage and efficiencies of that fixed wing. So essentially, the Wingtra 1 transitions autonomously at a preset altitude, and it enables you to get up and over those obstacles. It could be tree line, it could be buildings, it could be anything that with a traditional fixed wing, you need a long runway to take off and land in. Maybe even a football field. So having that Vtol solution when it's landing, it's not belly crash landing like you would with other products out there. It can be dangerous, can destroy the body sensors, or even physically the drone. The traditional fixed wing that's doing the belly landing, it might look okay, but internally the components could be loose. This could be, a safety issue in the future. There's tons and tons of different applications that you can be using the Wingtra for, but we're going to focus today kind of on like the survey, mapping, mining, agriculture, and environmental. There we go. One thing that you'll notice, these are pictures from all across the world. One thing, the pictures are taken, they're mostly on rugged terrain. Like you can see, they're flown off the side of a mountain or a large aggregate site. There's not a flat area where another fixed wing could land pretty much on its belly, where the Wingtra is going to give you that versatility and that flexibility to, launch and land, from tight areas, unsafe areas, hard to reach. And why are customers buying the Wingtra? Why are they looking at the Wingtra 1? Well, the first reason is the resolution. They integrate the high-end sensors. It gives them a high detail that you need when you're collecting your imagery. It's got ultra high accuracy, that allows you to get down to centimeter level, absolute accuracy with your deliverables. The Wingtra 1 can fly and cover large areas. In a single flight, in a 55-minute flight, you can cover almost about 660 acres at 400 feet. And finally, the hands off. You're not hand launching, trying to catch it. It's all hands off. It's very safe. You um, choose your flight. You know the area that you want covered. You press the button, it autonomously flies, and then it comes and lands autonomously as well. You do have the ability to manually control the Wingtra, but typically with the surveys, you're just going to let the technology do what it was meant to do and just collect the data. You know, the four main reasons that were mentioned before, you know, is going to allow you guys to map unreachable areas, cover large areas with that high resolution, and get dense and accurate deliverables across the entire project. So if we're looking at mapping unreachable areas, this picture, screen, it was actually the Wingtra landed and took off on a boat, you know, that you wouldn't be able to do with another fixed wing that doesn't have VTOL. So you know, another thing is, you know, oftentimes you're going to be conducting surveys in difficult terrain. You might not have access. So with the Wingtra 1, you only need a 2x2 meter box to launch the Wingtra from. So it gives you that that flexibility to map your sites. I've actually have launched. There was, I believe it's on LinkedIn. I've got a picture of launching the Wingtra from the tailgate of my truck, and you know the ground was a little unstable. There was water, you know, it wasn't really nice spot to take off from, so I just launched it from the tailgate, and it landed perfectly. And I already mentioned the, you know, traditional, you know, fixed wing drones. You need a large area to launch from. With that single flight, you know, you're getting 500, 650 acres down to 1 centimeter resolution. You're getting super accurate results that's going to allow you to zoom in on those fine details that you'll need for your project. Wingtra's also got to use large mission planning software that allows you to swap batteries on the fly. So if you're covering, you know, maybe a couple thousand acres, the Wingtra will land, you swap the batteries and you can resume the project. It could also be like a linear project too. Wingtra has a great corridor mapping feature if you're doing pipelines or roads. So again, you're going to have that flexibility, being able to swap the batteries and keep going. This is actually a study that they did with a couple competitors' products to kind of show the you know, how much area can be achieved in a single flight, but still achieving really good results. And these are all, you know, all of this information can be found on the site. You know, all of these platforms were flown at the same height. You can easily see here that the Wingtra outperformed and did double the coverage of its competitors in the same class. And you can, and by the, you know, the DJI Phantom 4, it covers about 12 to 13 times more area in a single flight. One of the features here that's offered with the Wingtra, especially that GANS is going to appreciate, is the survey grade accuracy you can get with the PPK module. It sits right on top of the camera. It's an L1, L2 receiver that logs data during the entire flight and allows you to correct the positions of the drone's imagery post-flight. Ultimately, this PPK module is going to allow you to get down to 1 centimeter on your X and Y and 2 centimeters absolute on your Z value. There's a lot of great information on the Wingtra website about, you know, the value of using drones and you know how it's a bit more accurate, well, quite a bit more accurate than using traditional surveying methods. And how they do that is using a high-end GNSS antenna that's going to give you the certain median accuracy across the entire model. And really, this is going to allow you to compute more accurate calculations on volumes. You know, if you take your stockpile, the density of the point cloud from the drones is much higher than the traditional survey it's going to give you better numbers. The counting is always going to like that too. The Wingtra one has, ton of different sensors. They're all professional and versatile to meet all the mapping needs. You can easily swap any of these sensors out to the Wingtra, and they're stored in custom mounts. So the mount goes right into the Wingtra. It can be done all over the field. It doesn't take any time at all. So here's the different sensors I mentioned. The flagship camera that does a really great job of capturing images is the Sony RX1 42 megapixel full frame sensor. It's going to allow you to get down to that low ground sample distance and give you that high precision when you add it with the PPK. The Sony QX1 is the lower cost entry level camera, I'd say. It's a 20 megapixel. That's going to be comparable to some of the other competitors in the market. And you can also pair it, if you want to get a wide lens, you can put a 15 millimeter lens on there for more coverage. We've got a couple different multispectral options. We've got the 5-band Mica Sense Red Edge, and it's for advanced sensor for agriculture, tree health, any farming applications. And then for the higher multispectral accuracy, we've got the Mica Sense Altum. This is useful when you're evaluating, say, water stress. Offers the ability to cover large areas as well if you're doing like rivers, lakes, ponds. The mission planning software, Wingtra Pilot, it's really easy to use. It's intuitive. You're going to use it for all of Wingtra's data acquisition. Includes different various plans monitoring. You can revise your mission in middle of the flight and inspect data out in the field with this software. It's tailored for the Wingtra One, so you're not going to be using it with other drones, but it comes preloaded on a tablet when you purchase the drone, so they provide you with a ruggedized Android tablet. We actually had a customer of ours did a project out in Nova Scotia last summer, and they were looking at other fixed wings and realized that they weren't going to be able to do it with traditional fixed wing drones because they were going to be in a forest. So they ended up choosing the Wingtra, and it was a large area. They ended up covering about 6,000 hectares. Took them 10 days, and I believe it was about 75 flights that they did throughout the project. And what they saw, the value of the Wingtra was, you could easily bring the equipment out into the remote areas. It comes with a black sleeve backpack, so you can put it on your back. I don't know if you can see it in the bottom left corner. One of them is wearing it. The Vtol essentially allowed them to take off and land in tough areas. I don't know if this video will play. In the middle is a video, but you can see kind of in the middle the Wingtra's there, and they're watching it from that location. With the other traditional fixed wings, you wouldn't be able to do that. They had quick data capture, transfer, switching data between SD cards. And the one thing, if you're doing such a large project, you're out in the boonies, and you got to make sure that data is reliable. There's nothing worse than flying a site, bringing the drone down, and then realizing, okay, it didn't capture the data. So that was one thing that they really stood out in their mind, that they felt they could rely on this product. As Candice mentioned, there's the Transport Canada side of the legal side, and making sure that you're using a compliant drone. And the Wingtra covers all 3 classes of RPAS for advanced operations. You can fly it in controlled airspace, near people and over people. So roads, buildings, you've got that flexibility with the Wingtra. There's 2 classes. There's 3 classes right now for drone operators for visual line of sight. You've got your basic, which you're not going to be able to do much with that license. We at SITECH we have 6 pilots, all that went one step above. We went with the advanced operations, and again, that's going to allow you to fly in control airspace, close to road, or sorry, over roads, buildings, people, and most of the operations that the GAN's members are going to be using the advanced operation. The third level is a special flight operator certificate, which was heavily used in the past for most drone operations, but they've kind of gone away from that. Where you're going to be applying for an SFOC is if you're flying over, say, a concert, you're taking marketing footage, stuff like that, where it's very specialized. It could also be if you're flying in Class F airspace, which is military, which is or restricted in general airspace. In terms of software, the Wingtra, they've partnered with a ton of custom companies. We sell Pix4D, we sell Trimble Business Center. It works with Trimble Stratus. There's another solution out there that we carry. It's called SimActive, which is a great product for processing large data sets. I think they can process up to 50,000 images in one data set, which is almost unheard of. Pix4D, I believe it's about 2,000 when you start having some processing issues, but essentially, you can take those high accuracy geotagged images and push it through almost any drone photogrammetry software now. On Wingtra's website, they have sample data that you can download if you want to get familiar with the the results. They've got a lot of great sample data sets, for different maps, camera comparisons, if you want to see what the QX1 can achieve versus the RX1. They've got the multispectral data, and you can see the quality reports on there as well. The Wingtra one, when you purchase it, essentially what you're going to get is that black carrying case that I mentioned. You're going to be able to put the drone in there. It's a backpack, so you can walk around with it if you're hiking into the bush. You get the Wingtra one body. You choose which payload you want, if it's the 42 megapixel, 20 megapixel. It comes with a ruggedized tablet with the ground control software on there. It also comes with a remote control with telemetry. So you actually, if something was to happen to your tablet mid-flight, you've got a remote control system there that you can manually fly the drone, or you can hit return to home. It comes with 2 sets of batteries, so you're going to get just under 2 hours of flight time. You get a pair of propellers and a pitot tube, and there's optional. You choose your camera, and then you can add the PPK. You can set out the PPK if you want to just set out ground control points. You've got spare parts. You've got your hard case. If you're going to be shipping the Wingtra, I'd highly recommend that. Purchasing a hard case. The Wingtra Academy. Wingtra's actually got a really great website where they've got the knowledge base where it's almost like a Google. You can search almost any product, and it's going to have articles, white papers that are going to help you through if you're troubleshooting. Wingtra also has a really great support network. We've got, like I said, 6 technicians that are trained on the product, but then we also have the Wingtra network as well. They do ongoing webinars, so it could be how do we achieve high accuracy, what are the operations like, how do you swap cameras, all sorts of different things. They have their blog as well, where they've got case studies and get to know the drone. Yeah, so if anybody has questions, if anybody wants a quote, you can reach out to wingtra.com/talk to sales, or you can contact us at SITECH@midcanada.com. And yeah, if you have any questions, by all means, reach out. And I'd like to say again, thanks for having us here. And drone technology is changing so quickly, and we're seeing it, like I said, on more and more sites every day. So if you have any questions, by all means, you can reach out.
That was wonderful. Thank you, James. Does anyone have any questions about the Wingtra or SITECH or drone licensing? What he went through anyways. Yes, did I hear someone? I have a question actually about like color balancing and things like that in steep areas, like in mines and things like that. Does the camera do a pretty good job of color balancing and, you know, like how you might have shadows and things like that when the hill gets really steep? Does the technology, your post-processing, do a pretty good job of that?
Yeah, for sure. So because it's got that ultra high 42 megapixel, you know, you're able to get more pixels on the ground and generate a better model that's out in the field. Um, yeah, essentially that's what and it also comes down to, you know, how you're processing your data. We've seen really great results, you know, running it through Pix4D. We've seen SimActive give us really great results, and even on like the cloud solution Trimble Stratus, you know, I'd say, you know, SimActive does a really great job of generating great models.
Great. Yeah, those the collection area is really impressive. I've gotten more experience with a Phantom than obviously the Wingtra, but I thought that the Phantom was great at picking up area, but it's got nothing on the Wingtra.
Yeah, and you know what? Like I would say that the Phantom has its place. Like if you're doing a site that's 50 acres, 100 acres, I
Mhm.
think it's a great tool.
Yeah.
It's like if you look at your surveyor, he's PS that he's going to use to do layout and be efficient, but your total station is used for, you know, dead accuracy. Like you need something super tight. So they both have their same applications. So I would never say, you know, only buy the Wingtra. It's going to do absolutely everything for you. You know, have two. It's just another tool in the toolkit, really.
Right. No, that's really impressive. And I'm sorry, I'm going to hog you again. You said corridor mapping. It does well at corridor mapping.
Yes.
What's its range?
I believe it's 40. Don't quote me on this. I believe it's 40 kilometers.
Okay.
But then you're getting beyond visual line of sight where you'd have to get approvals from Transport Canada for that. It's got a great.
Right.
You can actually go onto the Wingtra website and see the corridor mapping feature. Um, they've got a great little video on, you know, how do you mission plan, and then actually seeing the Wingtra fly on the screen. And you can take a kit if you have a road of the road, and then you can just create your polygon based off of that, and it will just fly the corridor.
Right. That's pretty useful. Um, that was kind of an application we were looking at with my company Wood. So that's very good to know. Yeah. And I guess the last question is, for me anyway, is the price point. Approximately how much will we be looking at compared to like you know, the Inspire, say, which is, you know, about 10K.
Sorry, in terms of price for the Wingtra itself.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So the Wingtra one, like I meant, there's different classes. If you're going at the 20 megapixel, you're going to be, you know, maybe 35,000. Up to the 42 megapixel to get that high resolution, you're going to be closer to about 40 to 45,000. That would include training. I see here that St. Mary's University had written a question or mentioned that they've been using a Wingtra for 2 seasons. We do have education bundles as well, so you receive I think it's 30%. 30% if you're an education institution. So we've got that program for those that vertical, and then we also have a trade-in program as well. If you've got you know, any fixed wing, like, you know, any of the other competitors that are out there, There's different classes. We also take multi-rotors in on trade as well and apply that towards the purchase price.
That's really great. Yeah, Greg, it would be great to hear how you guys are using the Wingtra sometime in some of your projects, if you're ever interested. I always like to hear from people at our local universities as well, you know, stay in touch. All right, does anyone have any other questions for James before we let him go? I'm going to share my screen again for a moment. Okay, well, you did give your contact information, as well as, you know, people are always available on LinkedIn if anyone has any questions for him afterwards. All right, so I want to wrap it up today by telling everyone about our next GANS Geo Talk, which isn't really a Geo Talk, it's our GANS annual general meeting. So it's going to happen in 2 weeks' time, between 2 and 4. We're going to have a presentation by Dr. Bruce Hatcher from Cape Breton University, probably talking about his new drones and what he's been doing with them. We'll have a president's address, board elections, and, you know, a couple of other things like that. So I hope that everyone can attend. And if you do want to find out more information, you can email info@gans.ca or check our social media channels. All right. And that's all today. Thank you very much for attending. I appreciate it, and I hope you had a good time. Thanks very much, James. If everyone could take themselves off mute and give them a round of applause, that would be appreciated. Thank you very much. Okay. Bye, y'all.